Hey guys, welcome to the woods. Well, I've been camping for a few days. I'm in Western Maryland. And anyways, beautiful trail. There's a river right over there. Stream. How do you define them? I don't know. Anyway, so stream running over there, and so every once in a while this trail goes close to the water and away, and I don't know why I'm telling you about the trail. I don't usually bother doing that, but it's just interesting to me that this is such a beautiful spot. And I'll probably make a 10-minute video here. Hopefully I'm gonna keep it short. And not see anybody. I've seen a couple people all day. So odds are. But anyway, so I just invite you to get out in the woods. So what, a little clarity on that. I come here to meditate, but it's not the kind of meditation like I'm trying to clear my mind. I'm just letting the beautiful, this is where I create, not meditate. But you're creating where you're going with your life by your emotions. If you're feeling positive and optimistic, you're headed towards positive and optimistic. If you're feeling funk and doubt and confusion, you're headed to wherever the universe takes you. And I think that's why a lot of people feel like there's, including myself, that there's assertion from the other side. Like, my higher self has a different idea. I'm not doing the right thing, so it's trying to steer me, or God, or however you want to perceive it. Like how I'm adding the animation with confusion. And clarity is like just feeling the beauty and perfection of that path. It's just delicious in this place. But it comes along with the birds in the background, which, as a reminder, I have this Muse headset which uses EEG. You can look it up yourself, and it's interesting, and I like it. But it just got me more focused on my breath. When you focus on your breath using this Muse headset, reading your brain waves, when you get your brain waves and your brain waves come after, you get synchronicity with your breath, and you feel that rhythm, that certain breath that you're used to. You've done it over and over again. You know that's your calming breath. Well, this Muse headset can give you the sense of, you know, when that breath is right, because the app on your phone has birds chirping when you're in the right synchronistic mindset. And when you're feeling like distracted or feeling, fear emotions and different vibrations that would be ill effect or less desirable, the sound of rain comes on my phone. I just put headphones in, and I put this little band on my head, goes behind my ears, and it's, a couple $100. It's like, why wouldn't I want a tool that's going to help me do that? I think the other tool is the EFT tapping. You can look that one up too. But basically, you're tapping energy meridians on your face, on your body, under your armpit, and the karate chop right here on the hand. Anyway, I'm not going to give the definition on how that all stuff is done. And this whole explanation of everything I've always talked about is really kind of covered also by Abraham Hicks in her videos. And there's a million of them out there. She's been basically telling this story, this message of care about how you feel. And look for that feeling of clarity and peace. And that knowledge then comes that everything's always working out for us. It always has. I'm trying to get in. I feel like my head's a light bulb. Okay. So, beautiful tree, by the way. Just want to kiss him. This is a conscious being, by the way. My emotions are being transferred to this tree, and this tree's emotions back to me. There's so much magic happening in the energy vibration. There's just no real tree here any more than there's me here. We're both 0.00001% solid matter, little particles dancing around so fast. That's what's in all our molecules, right? We know that. And those tiniest particles, now that we have quantum physics, it's like they can be in multiple places at the same time. The communication between particles is magical stuff. So we're not going to try to explain all that or try to understand all that, but just know that all that weird hocus pocus magic stuff that religions talked about is true. You do get energy from the forest, and you give energy to the forest. There's always an exchange of energy. You see it in your dogs, right? Dog comes up to a stranger, he knows right away what their frequency is. But we go around pretending, don't pay attention to my emotions and my frequency. Just go get busy. Find someone who tells me something to do, and I'll forget about what I think and feel. Well, you don't want to leave up your sense of, you know, you've got this winning lottery ticket to be here on this path of life. And there's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you could do wrong. But why wouldn't you want to be empowered and self-driven? Not that you can't work with other people, of course, but your emotional state dictates where you're going. What you focus on, you attract and you experience. And it doesn't matter if you're focusing on it saying, this is what I need to fix, this is what's wrong, this is what needs to change. We need to get involved, we need to get up and get active and be proactive and fix things around here. If you want a better planet, we need to be better people. We need to go do some better things, and we need to straighten out the people who aren't doing better things. That narrative is like, that seems to be the mantra of most news agencies, because they want you to stay. Well, they want you. Who are the they, right? It's just us. We're interested in what's going wrong. If I feel funky like something's going wrong, this message could be about what's going wrong and what we need to fix and my message to help the planet. But it's not, because there's nothing that needs to be fixed. It's the message of caring about how you feel, because how you feel is going to dictate what your experience is going to be down this path of life. You're going to go down the path and experience. If you're worried about bears, the bear is up there in the woods. And he's going to come meet me on the trail, just like a dog would, and see that fear. But it's not that simple, like, oh, I'm just going to have no fear when the bear shows up. One, you would never have that control. You either know how to do it now. You either walk to that point in the trail already holding the sense of there's nothing to watch out for. You can't fake that immediate response when a bear pulls around the side of a tree. You're going to react the way you're going to react, and he's going to pick up on the chemistry. But there's even more magical, the whole attraction of whether he's going to come down and meet you on the trail. We call it synchronicity. But it's, once you start looking for that, you see it everywhere. And then you become a positive creator of your existence and your experience. I create what's going to happen on that path by my sense. What do I think about myself? So I say nice things to myself as I'm walking down the path and reassure myself that everything's always worked out in the past. And when something about my past comes into my mind, it feels funky, scary, sense of confusion, and that peace has left me, then I say, oh, my little Danny body has an experience that it wants to bring up right now. I'm strong enough now and feeling the joy of my path that I can look at a past event now and repaint it and say, I wasn't a victim of anything there. That's just what helped guide me. It's the barometer I use now to say when I'm not on my path. When I'm not on my path, all those things that I've done wrong and people have done wrong to me, they flood into my mind and they overwhelm me. But when I'm on my path and I'm conscious of my emotions and I'm doing pulling all the tools out of my tool belt that allow me to get back when I feel funky, to get back to that sense of clarity and peace, and then the conscious breath and the sense of knowing everything always works out for me, then you get back on the path. So then when you encounter the bear, you're not in confusion already, and distraction and lack of clarity and lack of faith and trust and hope and love. So if you're not carrying those things, it's your own fault. That's where it's like, you're responsible for your own life. It's like, okay, I've got, some physical ailment. It's really tough to say your mind causes that. But the chemistry in your body causes it. But the chemistry in your body is created by your mind. Your mind is focusing on whatever it wants to see out here based on its perception of what this game is all about. If you have an overall sense that we need to be watching out for something in life, or you're being judged, that's going to be a tough trail. But if you have a sense of, I've got the winning lottery ticket, I get to come here and be a co-creator with the rest of the planet and decide what experience do I want when I go down that path. Those are two hugely different paradigms that have nothing to do with anyone else. But here's a cool thing where that analogy of the bear coming to meet you on the trail or the bear going his own way. Okay, that's tricky. It's like, how can that be the case? It's like, well, anyway, so here's a scenario I was thinking about when I was walking down this path. I was remembering positive affirmations, appreciating myself and my past, and thinking about how I used to react in work. When I was real young, I caught on to this process because I've always had people, friends basically, working alongside of me, fixing cars, okay? So I was in the auto body painting and fixing collision work. So, and I always liked art and sculpture and working with my hands, but I also was in touch with my emotions. And I had my head full of the general principle that I am in control, like the placebo. I am in control of my body and my experience and what I encounter on my life. And if I don't like what I have right now, it's because of what I was thinking back on my path. I can't change that now. It's like, okay, I'm in a funky spot right now. I've got some physical ailments and other things. Well, that's a result of your past. So because we're in this quantum version of time distortion where we think there's time, because you're an infinite being, an energy ball, of course, and there is no such thing as time. But we sequentially see things one after the other. This moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. There's not a sequence of moments. You can't go back to a past moment. No such thing as the past. There's just your experience of the moment. If you want to bring the past with you, it's hard to avoid it, but it can be. You can fuss through that. Make your past experiences, when they come back into your conscious mind, something that you're going to love on. And give it the best spin and the best perspective you can. And thank it and accept it and let it go. Because you don't want to be focusing on it. You're not going to fix it. But people becomes part of their identity. They want to bring their past experience. Well, because of this, that's why I walk down the trail that way. I'm like, yeah, because of that, you do walk down the trail that way. But that's a choice to put it down. You're bringing the past into your present. This trail has nothing to do with the trail you were just on. But if you're thinking about the dramas and the troubles of the path you just came from, and you walk down this path with that in your mind, you're going to create the chemistry that's going to attract through synchronicities that event again. So then you could say, well, you know what? It's true. I was worried about such and such, and that's what I experienced. I've had it happen in the past. It's happening now. It's going to happen in the future. Dan, you're nuts to tell me that I can control that, and I'm not a victim of something, and there's no one asserting. Those bad things came out of the woods and met me on that path. Of course, I'm talking figuratively, because there's nothing bad in the woods that's ever going to meet you on your path. But, you know, monks and mystics have been saying it for thousands of years. If you're having an attack from a mosquito, whatever, or a bear come and get you, it's all can be controlled by you. You can eat poisonous things, they have no effect on you. You can experience all kinds of things. There's so much magic out there, but no one wants to talk about and focus on the magic, so that's why I'm here talking about and focusing on the magic. But it's a tricky topic, because you got to get real with yourself, and you got to be accepting of what is. You got to stop on the trail and say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on how perfect this moment is. I can't have a future perfect moment if I don't feel this one's got some perfection in it. So find whatever it is that makes you accept your perfection of the moment you're in now. Because everything you ever do is always in your now. That future path we're talking about, getting yourself in the right mindset to bring the best out of those woods and out of that experience of that path. You want to bring the best version of everyone you experience out. Quick story, I think I started to tell this. I worked in the auto body business, so when we had a car we were fixing, maybe spend a week on average fixing a car. We get it torn apart, we buy the parts, we fix everything we have to, fix the dents, send it to the painter, paint preps it, they paint it, they unwrap it, they send it back to us, we put it all back together, we deliver it to the customer. So it's Friday afternoon, you're going to deliver a job to a customer, you're going to get a $4,000 check that you absolutely need for payroll, and the guy putting it together is putting together a door handle, which is tricky. And there's a lot of moving pieces all at the same time. You're sliding it on the door because you had to take the door handle off to paint it and fix it. So you're putting that door handle back in, and you scratch the paint. And now it's like, I could think about, oh shit, what are you doing? What were you thinking? How could you be so stupid? Be more careful. Hey everybody, be more careful. Ah, rah, rah. And run around and lose my head and then go take the time to soothe myself and feel better about things, and then go back and see my employees and patch him up because he feels terrible, of course, or he left, and the other guys are scared to touch anything now because I just blew my lid, and everybody knows it's like we didn't get the check today because the car can't go. It's going to cost me an extra $500 to fix it. I got to go find a spot in the paint line and put it back in the paint shop. I got to take the rest of the car back apart to paint that door. And then we got to go through the whole process again, hope it doesn't get scratched the next time. But if I'm going to go down that path, all the energy it takes, the energy I've sucked from all the employees in the shop at the moment that happened and I lost my cool, and all the energy I sucked out of myself, I don't have the clarity to figure out a quick solution. I can't have a conversation with a customer that's going to win them as a lifelong customer because we're standing behind our work and we're going to pay him for a rental car and we're going to make this right. We're not going to say, oh, it's the best we could do and you're going to have to live with that scratch. No, we're going to make it right, and we're going to take the loss and keep moving. But I need the clarity in my mind to keep that clarity in my employees' mind. So when we go to the next job, which we're sitting right next to this one, we're going to put another handle in another car. They don't have the same problem because it starts to spread like wildfire. Once I lose my cool, everybody gets nervous. Once everybody gets nervous, the quality goes right down the shitter. And so I knew that I can't have a gut reaction, which is of frustration. If I'm on the border of frustration, I ought to just go home. So I took time during my day and at my work to sort of keep calm and keep thinking positive and appreciate, oh, look at that went together properly. Oh, look at that went together properly. Oh, doesn't that paint look nice? Oh, isn't this good? And I gave myself a lot of positive affirmations, and I got good at that conversation of, Dan, you're a great guy. You're always doing the best you can. And I appreciate you so much. And look where you brought me. And the clarity that you have of the beauty of that trail coming on just makes the trails more beautiful and more beautiful. Being life, of course. My experiences in life, the synchronicity of drawing the best out of the people around me is so obvious now that someone appears in front of me and I'm like, what are you bringing me? And I'm already thankful. Like, oh, I know you're bringing me something beautiful. And I know that I have something positive to give. So I own that sense of, I'm radiating out to this planet, this galaxy, my sense of love and perfection and clarity and peace. You radiate that out, not just to the dog on the trail next to you or the bear who didn't come into the trail to get you, or all the synchronicities that happen, all that magic. You can only read it, use it, feel it, work with it by being in touch with your emotions. It's magical that the universe does that. It talks through your emotions. How do you feel? And it's a frequency. It's so complicated. It's not, I feel up, I'm happy. I'm just going to stay happy. That's what Dan said, stay happy. No, it's much more complicated than that. You got to own the narrative that tells you that everything that happens down this trail is just whatever I'm attracting, whatever I'm focused on, whatever I want to experience. And you say, well, that was a terrible thing that just happened. You're saying I wanted to experience that? Not consciously, but you've been holding a sense of what you don't want is going to appear on the trail. Just because you say this is what I don't want to see on the trail doesn't mean it's not what you're focused on. Whatever you're focused on, you're focused on. It's like law of gravity is the same as law of attraction. No one pushes things around. Gravity pulls everything at its proper density. Something with a lot of density falls hard. Fear and anxiety is a powerful creator in your mind. It's a powerful sense of things. A lot of people really carry a lot of fear 24/7. They're so quick to give that narrative of what to watch out for on that trail, on that path ahead of them. What I need to watch out for. People have that narrative. They own it. They can give the definition of why they own it because of the past scenarios that have been so bad. And I say, if you could think about joy, prosperity, peace, and clarity, and perfection of everything that happens to be awaiting you on the trail, if you can feel it and own it and know that that's what's coming, it will come. The synchronicities will pull out of those woods everything you need to experience on your path. But that's not a narrative that people hold and have conviction for. That's why I was thinking about the narrative of like how I've reacted in the shop. I've always reacted with a positive response to when things went wrong. And employees were always amazed. Like everywhere I've always worked, they always yell at you when things go wrong. I'm like, no, what's the point of that? If I yell at you, then I got to patch it all up. We're going to be funky all day, and I got to carry the funk, and we're at a funk, and I don't want that funk. I'm going down my path. I want beauty. I want perfection. That money lost in the car that didn't get delivered that day, you can't undo it. You can't fix it. So you might as well just accept it. The sooner you accept it, the sooner you move on to your next positive event. Hopefully that made some sense. That's 20 minutes. I'm a little bit longer, but I haven't made as many videos, so I'm trying to give you money's worth. But I'm walking along the path just following my synchronicity. The videos pop out when the videos pop out. But I did have a sense that maybe I'll try to do them once a week. Maybe, you know, look for them on the weekend. I don't know. This is my third day being out in the woods and camping. And this is my first video. So far, I don't know. I'm having blissful moments. I just haven't found clarity to put them on the video for you guys. But sometimes I do it in drawings. I love to do a drawing that really gives because these are energetic downloads when you feel this sense of peace and clarity. It's a lot of work to put it to words in something that makes sense. But anyway, we give it a shot because I care and I love you. And the more you love yourself, that's your goal. It's your only mission here coming to this planet, walking on this path. It's not to go fix something down that path, but to walk with yourself and love yourself. Loving on yourself is your only mission in this galaxy. And you're the only one who's supposed to do it. No one else is supposed to love you. But when you really love yourself and you love your path, everyone loves you too, because you just resonate. It's like the same thing as the law of gravity. Likeness attracts to likeness. I pull the positive out of other people because I feel positive about myself. All right, that's it. We're over 20 minutes. So, love you guys, and, you know, enjoy your path, but get excited before you go. See ya.